Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the online class of Biology for Engineers. In last session, we have discussed the Unit 2 biodiversity topics, animal system. In the animal system, we have seen the circulatory systems and excretory system and their functions. In today's session, we'll start the another system, that is the digestive system and the respiratory system. We'll study the elementary study of the digestive system and the respiratory system. We'll study about the digestive system. Digestive system, human digestive system. It will consist of the alimentary canal and the associated glands. Alimentary canal, here you can see in diagram, it will start with mouth and it will end to anus. So alimentary canal, it will begin with mouth and it will end to anus. Mouth is nothing but the buccal cavity here. Continuous to the buccal cavity, we have pharynx. You can see in diagram. Then you have esophagus, the food pipe, which is helping in transferring of the food from the mouth to the stomach, is the esophagus. Then stomach. After stomach, we have small intestine. Then the last part of the digestive system we have here is the large intestine. Continuous to the stomach, in the diagram you can see you have the small intestine. Small intestine parts, you can see here, it is starting with the duodenum. After stomach, you have this part, the duodenum, the first part, initial part of the small intestine, which is connected to the stomach with the help of the pyloric sphincter. Here you can see the pyloric sphincter. This pyloric sphincter is helping in connecting the stomach to the small intestine. Small intestine, first part we are calling it as here duodenum. Then continuous to the duodenum, you have here jejunum. After duodenum, you have the next part of small intestine, we call it as jejunum. Jejunum here means it empty, as this portion of the small intestine is found to be empty in a dead person. Then we have, continuous to the jejunum, we have ileum. Ileum is the terminal or the last part and the longest region of the small intestine, and it is joined to the next part, that is the large intestine. Large intestine is the terminal part of the digestive system. So, small intestine, we have duodenum, jejunum and ileum. These three parts are belonging to small intestine. From the stomach, pyloric sphincter is helping in connection to the small intestine first part, that is duodenum. Then we have ileum connecting it to the or ileum is helping in joining with the large intestine. Large intestine is the terminal part, and in the large intestine we have different parts here. You can see the transverse section, cecum, ascending colon, descending colon, all these transverse colon, descending colon, ascending colon, cecum. All these are the different parts of the large intestine. Then we have rectum and anus. So all these small intestine, 3 different parts we have seen: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. In the large intestine we have different parts: transverse colon, ascending colon, descending colon. So this is about the digestive system. Digestive system, it is starting with the mouth and it is ending with the anus, you can see. Process of digestion. Digestion is nothing but the breakdown of the complex food substances into simple one with the help of the enzymes in our body. We call this process as digestion. First, tongue will help in mixing and pushing of food into the next part. The lower jaw will also help in the process of the pushing of food into the next part, that is the esophagus. The soft food will get mixed with the saliva. Saliva will be produced by the 3 pairs of the salivary glands here. The 3 pairs of salivary glands are sublingual glands, parotid glands and submandibular glands. These 3 pairs of salivary glands will secrete the saliva, which will help in mixing of food with the saliva in the buccal cavity, nothing but the mouth. Then food will get mixed with the saliva, which is secreted by these 3 glands: the parotid glands, the submandibular glands and sublingual glands. The 3 pairs of salivary glands which will secrete the saliva, the liquid which will get mixed with the food in the buccal cavity. Then the food will, after mixing with saliva, it will pass through the esophagus into the stomach. From buccal cavity, it is passing through the esophagus into the stomach with the help of the wave-like movement. That wave-like movement which is helping in passing of food from the mouth, buccal cavity to the stomach, we call it as peristaltic movement. Then through the peristaltic movement, food is going into the stomach. Food will get mixed with the gastric juices and the hydrochloric acid HCl, which is produced by the stomach. The gastric juices will contains different enzymes like pepsin, which will help in breaking down of the proteins present in food into small molecules. After breaking down of the proteins and carbohydrates, the digestion of food which is taking place in the stomach, the food will be slimy like substance, and this slimy substance, food in the form of soft slimy substance, we call it as chyme. Then food material from the stomach, it passes to the small intestine. In the small intestine, we have three parts. Just now we have discussed duodenum. Small intestine is starting with duodenum, then jejunum, then ileum. Small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal here. It is the longest part. The first part we are calling it as the duodenum, where in the duodenum the digestion of carbohydrates, further digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats will be taking place. Then continuous to the small intestine we have large intestine. Then large intestine, it is continuous with the rectum. Rectum and anus is the last part of the human digestive system. So food, it is moving from the mouth, it is buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, then small intestine, the first part of small intestine, duodenum. Then from the small intestine it is going into the large intestine, the transverse section, the ascending colon, the descending colon here. Then all these are the parts of the large intestine. Then it is going to the rectum and anus. The pancreas here, pancreas will be secreting the pancreatic juice, which will contain different enzymes like trypsin, and it will also help in the process of digestion of the proteins and fats. So this is what the process of digestive system. Then we have the respiratory system. Respiratory system of man, it will include the external nostrils, nasal chamber. In the nasal chamber we have vestibular part, respiratory part, olfactory part. Then we have nasopharynx, then we have larynx, then we have trachea, then we have bronchioles, then we have lungs. Lungs, here you can see the diagram of the lungs, the human respiratory system, which is helping in the mechanism of breathing. Breathing involves the inspiration and expiration. Lungs will occupy the greater part of the chest cavity or the thoracic cavity. Lungs, you can see here, it is covered by the double membrane, double layer, pleural membrane. Pleural membrane, you can see here the covering of the lungs. Lungs are covered by double layered pleural membrane. It is filled with pleural fluid. Pleural fluid, you can see here. Mechanism of breathing involves the inspiration and expiration. The respiration process, the breathing process in humans involves the inspiration and expiration process. Human respiratory system. Human respiratory system starting with the nostrils, a pair of external nostrils above the upper lip. It will lead into the next one, that is nasal chambers. Then nasal chambers, it is having three parts. The vestibular part, which will secrete the sebaceous glands to prevent the entry of the dust particles. Dust particles will be prevented by this vestibular parts, which will have the hairs and the sebaceous glands, which will prevent the entry of the dust particles into the respiratory tract. Then we have respiratory part, which will maintain the temperature of the inhaled air. The air what we are inhaling, the temperature will be maintained by this respiratory part. Then we have olfactory part, which will be lined by the epithelium, and it will detect the olfactory part will detect the smell. Sense of smell will be detected by the olfactory part. Then continuous to that we have nasopharynx. Nasal chambers will leads into the nasopharynx through the nostrils. Nasopharynx is the upper portion of the pharynx. Then it is continuous with the larynx. Larynx is the sound box, hence called the voice box. It will help in sound production, that's why we are calling it as voice box. Wall of the larynx will be having the cartilaginous substances. Then it is continuous with the trachea. Trachea is nothing but the windpipe. It is a straight tube. Then we have bronchi and bronchioles. Bronchi, you can see here, bronchioles, bronchi, trachea, larynx, epiglottis. Epiglottis is the elastic flap which will be attached to the thyroid cartilage to prevent the entry of food into the larynx through the glottis. Then we have the trachea. Trachea is continuous. You can see here trachea, the windpipe. Trachea is also called as windpipe, straight tube. Trachea is continuous with the bronchi and bronchioles, bronchus. Bronchus, it is entering into the corresponding lungs. Bronchus, it is entering into the different lungs, and it is dividing into primary, secondary bronchioles and tertiary bronchioles in the lungs. Exchange part of the respiratory system, mechanism of breathing will be done by the two process, that is inspiration and expiration. So thank you students. You need to practice the diagrams of the respiratory system, this diagram, and digestive system, this diagram. Two diagrams you need to practice. Maintain a separate book for biology and practice the diagrams, all the diagrams what we are discussing. So in today's session we have discussed about the digestive system and the respiratory system. Thank you students. We'll discuss about the next topic of unit 2, the last topic, microbial system, in the next class.